Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, to the regional and international diaspora, a pleasant good morning. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. It's the 28th day, yes, of October 2025, just about 4 minutes after the hour of 8, as we dive right into our program. Just to remind you, we are on your FM dial at 98.9. We are being simulcast on TVC Channel 40. We are on Facebook as well as YouTube. In the UK, if you wish to join in on the conversation or bring something present to the fore, the number is 0333-440065. In the US, we have two numbers. The first one, 718-285-6984 or 1305-921-4619. And our local number is 466-0989. Quint, good morning again. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I am good, thanks. I know we normally have our pleasantries when I come in the morning, but you know it doesn't hurt to ask you twice. It's always nice. And today at 8:30 a.m., you know, this is the day for Weekly Dose as we continue to talk about breast cancer. And today, Dr. Osborne will be bringing in Dr. Leon, and she is an oncologist. Now, just to remind you of what an oncologist does, an oncologist is a medical doctor who specializes in diagnosing, treating, and managing cancer. Their responsibility include creating treatment plans, administering therapies like chemotherapy, and coordinating care with other specialists. They also provide supportive care, manage treatment side effects, and conduct research through clinical trials. We saw Sarah give us a wealth of information last week. As she shared with us her diagnosis and what was available in St. Kitts, and I myself was shocked because sometimes all we hear is the negative of our medical system, but I did not know that all of this was available to treat patients who are diagnosed with breast cancer here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So let's look inside before we look outside. You never know what's available. When the doctors come in, they'll give you more information on that. So remember, tell a friend. The doctors will be on at 8:30 a.m. This morning. So Quint, while perusing yesterday, I saw something. Excuse me, my voice wants to go already. Good morning, Auntie Katie. I know she hears me. She's going to be like, you need to get that thing checked out. Where
at the moment we have had no discussions with respect to invading Venezuela, with respect to TNT going onto the soil of Venezuela. It's just fear mongering. A lot of this fear mongering. There have been no discussions with the U.S. or anyone else. However, I repeat, should Venezuela invade Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago will definitely step forward in defense of our cousins, our brothers and sisters in the CARICOM.
So you.
No one said, did anyone say Trinidad had intentions of invading Venezuela?
No, but that's what I tell you. She keeps saying, I don't know. Maybe somebody's touting it. Somebody's touting it. They're probably saying she's going to help.
And then she's always saying, if Venezuela invades Guyana, she, you know, I mean, come on. The Trinidad and Tobago. Look, you should hear some of the Trinidadians and Tobagonians on this. They say, "What are you going to use? Are you going to you're going to get some crabs to go and fight this war because Venezuela in the Caribbean is a force to be reckoned with. You know, against the United States, it's a problem, but in the Caribbean, they are a force to be reckoned with."
But in the next clip too, she also goes on to say that if it's to fight against what do we call it, human trafficking, drug trafficking, then she would be on par with the Americans. So I don't know what to think.
Look, she is the leader of a country in the Caribbean. Being a leader of a country, any country in the Caribbean, you should be aware of Caribbean history. You should also be aware of American history. If you are aware of those two things, Caribbean history and American history, you know about the Americans' war on drug. You understand? You understand what it was all about. It was never about drugs. It was about discrimination. So when, as a Caribbean leader, you hear this coming up again, you should be scratching your head and asking, huh?
What's happening?
This sounds familiar. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, we know there's a drug problem in the Caribbean, but what the Americas are getting in terms of drugs is not coming through the main bulk of drugs that they're using in the United States of America. It's not coming through the Caribbean. Any Caribbean leader should be aware of that also. So when someone comes and they use that as a mouthpiece and say, we want to stop drugs in the Caribbean, again, you should scratch your head and ask, huh? Because we know it's not coming through mainly through the Caribbean. Also, when you find that an entity comes into your waters and just starts bombing boats without due process or indiction, again, you should be scratching your head and asking, what is this going on? But she's not speaking to any of those things.
No. As she said, they have no intentions to invade Venezuela. And as we continue along, I read an article from, it is PolitiFacts, and where the president of the U.S. is touting that for every boat they disseminate, or maybe that's not the correct word, for every boat that they blew up, I don't want it to sound
Disseminate is a good word.
Because people...
Disseminate is a good word.
All right.
Decimate, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's decimate I meant to say, Because
Yeah.
disseminate is to give out information.
Yes. Decimate,
Yeah.
that's a good word.
So he says 25,000 lives, U.S. lives are saved. But the article says there has been no proof that the mass majority of the drugs, as you would have said already, comes from Venezuela. So...
And then when he says these people are saved how and from what? Because you killed people?
Yeah. It's basically some lives have to be lost. 3 lives had to be lost in order to save 25,000.
Anyone can tout figures, you understand? Anyone can say, this is so and this is happening, right? I can say, how many times have you heard Jesus is going to come? Recently we heard everybody saying Jesus is going to come, the rapture is going to happen. Anyone can say anything. Only the Almighty knows how things will play out. So anyone can tout figures.
Listen what he says. He says, and quote, every boat that we knock out save 25,000 American lives. So every time you see a boat and you feel badly, you say, wow, that's rough. It's rough. Sounds just like him.
Yeah.
But if you lose 3 people and save 25,000 people?
Or what about if you get those 3 people, show that you have evidence that they were doing something in front of the whole world and say, see what I told you?
Exactly. And the fact that we know they normally use their megaphones on the boat. They make their announcements. They approach the boat. They do what they have to do. The fact that this is happening, it is quite alarming. I even have something here with him. And I see something else, not I heard, about land strikes. I really hope that doesn't start soon because innocent people will lose their lives.
Look, in times like these, you've got to be careful what you peruse because...
Are you considering options, are you considering strikes on land?
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control. We've had a couple of days where there isn't a boat to be found. And that I view that as a good thing, not a bad thing. The way you look at it is every boat that we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives. So every time you see a boat and you feel badly, you say, wow, that's rough. The boats get hit and you see that fentanyl all over the ocean. It's like floating in bags. It's all over the place. And it's a tremendous, we're saving tremendous amounts of lives.
What's the next step in this war?
So
I
we
mean,
see
if
fentanyl floating after the boats are knocked out?
But that tells you the man is a liar. If you have all these fentanyl, why blow up the boat? That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Capture them. Look.
But show us the
Look,
picture after
I
you
don't-
blow up the boat.
Don't
that
show
the-
us any picture after you blow up the boat. You know why? Because you can always plant things, right? Catch them. Let's see them on the seas. You approach them. You hold them up, and you say, "This is, And all of the 10 or 11 boats you've
blown
destroyed so far.
Oh boy. So, I was trying to get something up with it. That came up. I don't know what else to say when it comes to that, but
Let's take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Horseless Value Mart IGA specials running October 16th through the 29th. Now our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Blue Ribbon Ice Cream, just $32.99. Morning Star Meatless Entrees, $20.99. Planet Oat Milk, $11.99. Chobani Greek Yogurt, just $5.69. Banquet Chicken Tenders and Nuggets, $24.99. Essential Everyday Dry Roasted Peanuts, $12.99. And now our very low weekly value deals. Essential Everyday Pastas are just $4.99. Imperial Margarine, $8.99. All Orchard Apple Juice Cocktails and 100% apple juices, $9.99. VO5 Shampoo and Conditioner, $5.99. Gain Dish Detergent, $8.49. Arm & Hammer Deodorant, just $8.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service,
the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
And we are back on Island Sea, and I'm trying to see what is happening over there in Jamaica. I'm not seeing much. I continue to pray for my brothers and sisters over there, not only in Jamaica, but in the Dominican Republic and Haiti. All I'm seeing is heavy rain so far and flooding, and I'm praying that today it is not as
bad as we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, because it says, I see some shorelines looking messed up and stuff. So, boy, I'm hoping the streets are empty. I'm hoping everybody took heed, they're covering up, and they are going to the shelters and staying safe, because the winds are not looking good.
Yeah.
I saw a picture yesterday of this thing just settling there, like it looked like a big white donut, like a frosted white donut. How it's just sitting over there, because, the hurricane hunters are flying above it. I was like, wow, all of that is expected to get to Jamaica soonest.
Well, nature, never underestimate nature. Nature is all powerful. Yeah, nature reminds us that we should be humble. We should be humble beings in this world. I'm going to play a clip. This is not to do with the hurricane. We're going to wait until we hear from our sisters and brothers. This is to do with the ongoing saga in the Caribbean with this jug thing.
I'd like to start by saying that any positive development for Trinidad and Tobago, anything that will progress Trinidad and Tobago in the right direction, is something that the PNM will obviously be happy about and encourage. I'm starting with the whole dragon gas issue and smiling at the irony of what we're dealing with here today. Because to take your minds immediately back, just a few months ago, after the swearing in of a cabinet, and none other than the Honorable Prime Minister announcing to the world at large Dragon is dead, and that they will pursue gas in Grenada, Guyana, and Suriname, and that is where they would be. We find ourselves right back here today. It is this PNM administration that did the hard work and the legwork from 2016 all the way through to 2025 with respect to the pursuit of the Dragon gas field, which I want to remind Trinidad and Tobago, because it is obvious that the government will mislead you. The Dragon gas field is completely within the maritime borders of Venezuela. The Dragon gas field is completely owned by the people of Venezuela.
In 2018, not too long ago, Trinidad's PNM government under Keith Rowley, but Keith Rowley signed a deal with the PDVSA. Shell was also involved for the Dragon's gas field in Venezuela. PDVSA is Venezuelan and Shell being American, as you know. The plan was to pipe about 150 million cubic feet per day into Trinidad. Venezuela owned the field, of course, but Trinidad had the pipelines and the processing facilities. It was already set up. On paper, it looked like a win-win, and in all actuality, it was. Like I said, Trinidad had the processing facilities, the pipeline set up nearby, ready to hook up to the Dragon's gas field if the project was to go ahead with Shell, and everyone was going to profit from this. Shell and their shareholders, of course. Trinidad was going to profit, and Venezuela was also deemed to profit from the Dragon's gas field. Donald Trump revoked the license. Stuart Young, if you remember, in 2025, announced the cancellation of the Dragon's gas field deal.
We have now been informed that our license from OFAC which is dated the 18th of December 2023, has been revoked by OFAC, as well as our coquina mannequin license. I have been in touch with our attorneys at law in Washington, D.C. There is a process for, I wouldn't say appeal of this revocation, but there is a process for you to make an application for it not to be or for there to be amendments. And we are going to be engaged in that process on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago.
You remember him saying that the deal is currently off. So let's go back to 2020. Donald Trump's Treasury in 2020 revoked the OFAC license. Now, without that license, Shell and NGC, which is a Trinidad company, NGC, couldn't legally pay PDVSA, which is the Venezuelan company. The project was dead, not because of Rowley, not because of Trinidad, but because Washington said so. Washington holds the key. They own the refinery. At the end of the day, the refinery is the key here. Now, if we fast forward to 2025, Stuart Young himself had to admit the Dragon's gas deal was officially cancelled after the US, the United States, pulled back the Chevron license. The Chevron license that allowed Shell to explore and operate under the deal. Now, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, reinforced this publicly. If you think Washington is really ready to do business with Maduro right now, after I've given you a little bit of the history here, I want you to listen carefully to what Marco Rubio himself had to say only a few weeks ago about Venezuela and about Maduro.
You're wrong in your question. Number one, Venezuela is a major source. And the reason why is the following. And I've seen a lot of this reporting, and it's fake reporting, and I'll tell you why. It says that somehow Venezuela is not involved in the drug trade because the UN says they're not involved in the drug. I don't care what the UN says. The UN doesn't know what they're talking about. Maduro is indicted by a grand jury in the Southern District of New York. That means the Southern District of New York presented the evidence to a grand jury, and a grand jury indicted him. And then a superseding indictment came out that was unsealed about 1.5 years ago that specifically detailed Maduro's actions. So number one, let there be no doubt, Nicolas Maduro is an indicted drug trafficker in the United States, and he's a fugitive of American justice.
So, you've seen what Marco Rubio had to say, categorically. So I want you to get this straight. Let's get this straight together. Let's do this together. Our Prime Minister has recently been seen smiling and shaking hands in Washington, whilst the very man she is meeting calls Maduro a wanted criminal in the United States. How then can anyone celebrate a deal with Venezuela? It makes zero sense. This is not going to happen. This is why I say it's impossible. Either Washington wants regime change in Venezuela, or it wants to partner with them. They need to make their mind up. It has to be one or the other. It cannot be both. What you saw coming from Washington, what you saw between Marco Rubio and the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago was nothing but a photo op.
Yeah. And that person you heard speaking is a Trinidadian, okay? So we're getting it from their source. I hear the doorbell ringing.
Oh boy. So I see, as Quint was saying, the person that's speaking lives in Trinidad. He has an English accent, so I actually was thinking that he lives in the UK and he has a contact, but apparently he lives in Trinidad. So we have to adhere to. So the fact that the pipelines are owned by Venezuela, because I'm still trying to find out, because when I read about the Dragon pipeline, I heard it was natural gas that they had. So yeah, I was just trying to. So Quinn, it's gas or natural gas in the pipeline?
I'm not going to venture to be specific because I don't know. But right about now, let's take a bit of a commercial break so that the doctors can get in and be comfortable. We've got 3 minutes before the hour.
All right.
Okay.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Come Build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
And we're back on Island Tea, and as I mentioned at the top of the program, it's time for Weekly Dose. And in studio with us this morning, we have Dr. Natalie Osborne and Dr. Leon. And today, the topic, let's talk about breast cancer, where we discuss one of the most important health topics affecting women today. So, doctors, good morning, and welcome back to the studio of Island Tea.
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so this morning we're going to speak to Dr. Leon, and as we know from last week's episode with Sarah, she mentioned care, and we know Dr. Leon is part of her care. So thank you so much for helping Sarah, and we know lots of others are going to show up for you to help them as well. So Dr. Leon, let's start this morning with you, and how common is breast cancer today?
Breast cancer is the most common cancer in women. We must have to say that in the lifetime, one of 8 women will suffer for breast cancer. Also, this condition can happen in men as well, but it's less frequently. It's important for everybody to know the importance to go and do a screening. Why? Because it's something that could happen in everybody. It's important in this population where we see women to suffer for this condition so often to go and do a screening even in early age, because we see more often that early this happen in women when they turn in 30. So this is an information that is important for everybody to know.
Okay. So thank you for that, Dr. Leon. Dr. Osborne, what increases a person's risk of developing breast cancer?
So as Dr. Leon clearly said, that breast cancer is the #1 cancer now worldwide. It has surpassed lung cancer in terms of frequency, and of course it happens mostly in women. What increases your risk okay? Just being a female. Once you have you're female, you have a higher chance of developing breast cancer because of the circulating estrogen and because your mammary or breast tissue are much more developed. Males have breast tissue, but they're underdeveloped and they don't have as much circulating estrogen. So just being female and increasing age. We know once you get older, especially over the age of 40, but Dr. Leon also emphasized we're seeing women who develop breast cancer younger and younger, and especially in our community, black and brown community. So we are seeing lots of that. So family history. Cortensia, if your mother would have had breast cancer, your sister or your child, you had an increased risk because there may be some underlying association or genetic mutation. We've mentioned exhaustively the BR1 and BRC genes. That is seen in about 5 to 10% of breast cancer cases. But once, if you have that gene, your chances of developing breast cancer is enormous, almost to a point that most persons will develop breast cancer. Persons who are obese, we emphasize on this show all the time, Cortensia, you've got to exercise, keeping your weight down, because what happens in the fat cells, the androgen, the male hormone is converted to estrogen, the female hormone, and the cancer feeds off of that. So that is why being fit and exercising helps. Lack of alcohol consumption. We emphasize how many cancers that are associated with alcohol consumption as well too. So it's important to keep these things in mind. The hormone changes if you're over your postmenopausal, some women who use hormone replacement treatment, persons who may have had radiation exposure as children where they had radiation to the chest, that can put them at risk as well too. So those are some of the most common risk factors associated with breast cancer.
Okay, so we spoke about the risk factors. Let's talk about the typical signs and symptoms patients should look for.
We often emphasize this because this is some of the heart of the matter. You want to be able to be familiar with your breasts, as Dr. Leon would say to any of her patients, so that you know if there are any changes in your breasts. If one breast starts to look larger than the other. We spoke about a type of cancer that's inflammatory, so it looks like your breast is growing rapidly and it is heavier than the other, and it looks like almost like an infection process, but that can be a sign, especially in older females, of breast cancer. If there's a lump, that's the most common thing, a painless lump, whether in the breast or under the armpit, because we have those lymph nodes under the armpit, and those can show signs that the cancer has spread to those lymph nodes. We talk about things like a discharge from the nipple. If you have blood coming from your nipple, it's never normal. Dr. Leon would tell you that clearly. And so if that, you need to immediately see your physician and get that checked out. If you have your nipple is sunken in or inverted, you know that that's abnormal. Any changes or one of your breasts, as we get older, we lose some of the support tissue from the breast. And our breast starts to hang a little bit lower. They become what we call pendulous. And if one of your breasts is stuck to your chest and one is hanging lower, you realize that that cannot be normal. And so you need to present and get it evaluated.
Okay. So once an abnormality is found, what comes next, Dr. Osborne?
Well, as a part of these studies, you can definitely need a biopsy. Okay. You're going to need a biopsy. Always to put the stamp of a cancer on any individual, you need confirmation. And Dr. Leon would tell you, as an oncologist, before she starts any treatment, she needs to have tissue to determine what type of cancer and how the cancer is behaving. And so biopsy is going to be important, whether we take a small sample via a needle or a thicker needle to get a core sample, or even cutting out a segment of the tumor, you need tissue for that. And of course, we've got other modalities. The mammogram would be able to tell you, if it can tell you if the lesion is localized or it's diffused in other areas of the same breast or even the other breast. So these are the tests, or ultrasound can give some additional support. But finally, to confirm it, you need a biopsy.
Must. A biopsy is a must.
A biopsy is a must.
Okay, let me turn to Dr. Leon now. So Dr. Leon, what is triple negative breast cancer, and talk about its prognosis?
Well, when we're talking about triple negative breast cancer, we are referring to a cancer that is estrogen receptor negative, progesterone receptor negative, HER2 negative. What this mean in the end? So when we treating cancer, as the doctor mentioned before, we taking in consideration the type of cancer that it is, so we can choose the best treatment care for the patient. And in these patients, we cannot use hormonal treatment because the estrogen receptor and progesterone receptor is negative, and we cannot use a treatment that we call trastuzumab that target mutation like HER2 mutations. So they means that we only have few tools in order to treat in this cancer, such as surgery and chemotherapy. The thing about this kind of tumor is that the behavior is more aggressive. Usually, the cancer recur within 2-3 years after the diagnosis. It's really important for patients to know that this kind of cancer responded really good to chemotherapy. They mean that chemotherapy have a huge impact in this kind of cancer, and it's also important to know that we have different kind of treatment we can use, but the most important the patient need to know is early detection have a huge impact in the outcome of the patient and also the overall survival of the patient. They mean if we stage in the patient early, if we detecting the cancer early, stage 1, 2, the patient have better prognosis. In 5 years, most of the time, we have a rate about 70 to 75% survival rate in this subgroup, in this two subgroup. And when we detecting this cancer later on, that reduced dramatically to only 50%. So we encourage people to go get checked up to try to detecting this cancer as early as possible. And the other thing that is important is that this kind of condition occur more often in Black people and in early age, in younger people.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Husband, let me come back to you. You being the medical surgeon here, can you explain the surgical options available?
So the surgical options are paramount in terms of the treatment. Oftentimes you'll hear Dr. Leon say we need to get rid of the tumor to get rid of the tumor load because it makes it easier to then apply her chemotherapy or what other treatment she's going to put in place. So we've got many options in terms of treating, and it depends on the staging with you present, of course, and the size of your tumor. The smaller the tumor is, you can just remove the tumor, what we call a lumpectomy, and remove some healthy tissue around it, because you need margins, because once your pathologist look at it, he's another member of the team, he's going to look at it under the microscope. He wants to see the tumor in its entirety and surrounding normal tissues to make sure that you got all of it out. So you could do a lumpectomy. If the tumor is much larger than 5 centimeters or more, and you may have suspected associated lymph nodes that are involved, then you may have to remove the entire breast, what we call a mastectomy. So you got to take in consideration, of course, the stage of the cancer when you do your biopsy, the characteristic of the cancer as well, because a much more aggressive cancer, you may have to treat it much more aggressively. So a mastectomy can be part of your treatment, and also removing some of the lymph nodes under the armpit, because after you make a clinical staging, patients are always asking, Doc, what is my stage? You have to make a final pathological staging where the pathologist will tell you how much lymph nodes are involved, the final size of the tumor, and that is where we can then hand the patient back over to the oncologist for her to do her further treatments.
So, Dr. Leon, where does radiation fit into the treatment?
So radiation is an important tool that we use. Most of the time is indicated in different scenarios. For example, we can do radiation during surgery. We also can do radiation after we complete surgery and chemotherapy. We call that adjuvant radiation. And usually we have indication for radiation. Not everybody gonna get radiation. For example, if the patient have a surgery that we call lumpectomy, like the doctor was was mentioning before, is a criteria to get radiation done. If the tumor is big, more than 5 centimeters, is other of the criteria. If the patient have lymph node positive, is one of the things that we consider the patient is fit for treatment. And what is important to get radiation done? Radiation destroys cancer cells locally. It's a treatment that we deliver locally to the breast in order to destroy any cell that could be remain in the area.
Okay. Dr. Leon, could you talk about some of the other treatments that you use?
Well, we use different treatments in the management of the patient. It's important to know that not everybody gonna get the same treatment. So, for example, we use chemotherapy. If the patient need it, we have different kind of chemotherapy. We have the chemo that we giving orally, and we have chemo that we can give in IV. They means through the veins. Now on, we use a portacat to deliver chemotherapy. That is a device that we inserting under the skin. And that is one of the treatment we use. We also use hormonal treatment that we mentioned before, is when the patient have estrogen receptor positive, progesterone receptor positive, right? And we have a lot of option nowadays. We're improving in the option for patient to ensure that the patient gonna have better overall survival. We also have the target therapy. We use this kind of medication when the patient have certain mutations that we can target specifically what is causing the cancer to happen. And we see that this patient have a wonderful response to this kind of treatment, and we control tumor for longer. We also have immunotherapy. The immunotherapy is when we give a medication that actually booster the immune system of the patient, and in that way, the patient can fighting against the cancer. This is an awesome discovery. We have patients with a large tumor that we only use immunotherapy, and the patient achieve complete response to treatment. So this is something that we use nowadays with a huge impact in the outcome of the patient.
Okay, good stuff. I'm glad to hear that we're having excellent outcomes here in the Federation. Doc Osborne, that is. Many women worry about body image after surgery. Can reconstruction be done? I know we touched on this, but let's remind them again, because we are concerned about how we look.
Yes, of course. It's a big deal for a woman to lose her breast. It's part of our identity, part of how we feel beautiful, right? Quint as a woman. And we want to keep our breasts. That's ultimately the goal here, to keep our breasts. Because if the disease is diagnosed early, you can have just a lumpectomy and you may not need a mastectomy. So once we get to a stage of mastectomy, we can, there are options where you can do reconstructive surgery at the same time. And it's all dependent on what your oncologist and the surgeon decide, because sometimes you may have to do radiation therapy and other things, so you may have to postpone your reconstructive surgery, but there are some indications where right away you can do it. It can be done with your own tissue, like taking tissues from your back, taking tissue from your buttock, taking tissue from your abdomen to reform the breast, or it can be done by using implants. The only thing that, along with radiation therapy, we have to send our patients abroad, we do not do reconstructive surgery here. But it does not mean that the patient, after having their treatment, they cannot go on later to have reconstruction. So it can be done during the initial surgery, or it can be done afterwards.
Okay.
The ideal thing is to ensure that the patient is cured and we've gotten rid of all of the cancerous cells before, and then later you can do something more cosmetic as well too.
All right. Dr. Leon, tell us, what are some of the exciting new developments in breast cancer care?
So we was mentioning the target therapy and immunotherapy. For me, those two new treatments are actually giving patient hope. I want to mention in the care of triple negative patients, we have Keytruda treatment that is immunotherapy, and that show that the patient have a better response, better outcome when we using it. And we also have a new medication in triple negative care that is an next medication that we call target therapy with a huge impact in metastatic triple negative patients. So my message for these patients out there that have this diagnosis, don't be scared. We have new things coming. You gonna get the best treatment that we have. We are improving in new management. 5 years ago, because I have been here for 9 years, we didn't have this kind of tool to manage this kind of condition, but nowadays we have more resources in order to achieve better results with these patients. We also can mention the genetic testing that we are starting implementing in our patients, so we will know exactly what mutation the patient have and what treatment the patient gonna be responding best. They mean that not always the patient gonna need all the treatment that we have available. Some of them maybe don't need chemotherapy anymore. So this is exciting news for everybody.
Yeah, and just to add, because data is showing that women are living longer and longer now with stage 4 breast cancer, which is good news. So just from an emotional standpoint, you can get to see your kids grow up, you can get to see your son or daughter graduate university, and these are sometimes some of just the goals that someone would want. So this is exciting.
Very exciting news indeed. As I said last week, I learned so much that I didn't know we had here on the island. So treatment, it sounds intense. So let us talk about the side effects, the patient's experience, and how they're managed.
Well, it's important to know that the side effect is individual for everybody. Not everybody gonna experience the same symptoms, and we have a lot of tools right now to actually treating the side effect in order for the patient to go through the treatment the best as possible. It's true that some side effect is still there. For example, the patient can have nausea, vomiting. Some of them can lose the hair. Now on, we have some new drugs that we use that, for example, in this condition, in breast cancer, we see less patients to actually lose the hair during treatment. For example, Susan, our patient Sarah, she is one of the patients who get treatment, and she didn't lose the old hair, and she was so happy about it. So yes, we're gonna face a side effect during treatment, but remember, it's important to get the treatment as the doctor prescribed if we can achieve better results and better outcome.
And just to emphasize, because she's saying that we need to, even though you're going to have some side effects, the good outweigh the bad. And once your treatment is done, your hair grows back, your body more or less turns back to normal, even if you have some skin changes and different things, even from the radiation therapy. So those can result once we've had, your treatment is completed.
Okay. So Dr. Osborne, can women do anything to reduce their risk?
Of course, we can absolutely reduce our risk. The two main things are being females and getting older. We can't stop that, okay? And some of the things we can do is about how we eat and how we live our lives in terms of having a diet that is rich in fresh fruits and vegetables, making sure maintain a good weight. Your BMI has to be within a normal range. You have to exercise. Activity is so very important. Lots of diseases that we're seeing, we know that a lot of the roots are associated with nutrition, of course, and we abuse ourselves by eating a lot of these processed foods that are on the market, quick to go food. So if we eat more natural, closer to the earth, overall we can be healthier, maintain a good weight. Exercise, do not smoke, because we know smoking is a risk factor as well. Consume little to no alcohol. We've mentioned many cancers that are associated with having use of alcohol. So these are the things that we can control and where we can improve our lives overall so that we can, and if it does happen, you're healthier to fight the disease. Your immune system is much better.
And Sarah did mention that the good thing that she was in a healthy weight, it was easier for her.
Yes.
Yeah, so we see the proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
So, Dr. Leon, how important is the support for the medical team during breast cancer care?
Well, the support is vital. Why? Because treating cancer is not only about to remove a tumor, is not only to prescribe drugs for patients, it's a team effort when everybody come together, oncologists, nurses, surgeons, radiologists, counseling, everybody play a big role in the outcome of the patient. And it's important also to know that the nurse play a huge role in our patient. Why? Because they guide the patient day to day in order to improve side effect, in order to guide the patient during the treatment. It's important for all our patients out there. They are not alone. We are a team that try to give in our best in order to ensure that the patient feel comfortable during this fight, because this is a fight, it's a long fight, but they have the support for all the team that working together in order to ensure that they're gonna be good during this process.
Okay, I remember Sarah saying about the nurses when she gets there, the room's ready.
Yes,
listen,
she's almost like she's getting
exactly.
She's at a hotel,
And I saw all of that. It just beamed on her face that wow, all of this. And as I said, I didn't know, and I'm hoping that everyone remembered everything that Sarah said, because as you see, I'm putting in the bits and pieces that she said. So,
and the family support. Once you have your family support, your partner, your children, and everybody on board to chip in, it makes a difference.
Okay. And for those of you who are wishing to call, you may do so if you have any questions for our doctor or the oncologist. Just to remind you, our local number 466-0989. In the U.S., two numbers, 1-305-921-4619 or 1-718-285-6984, or in the UK, 0333-440065. Once again, our local number, 466-0989. So feel free if you wish to call and ask a question of the doctors. Okay, so any final advice for our listeners, Doc?
Well, I think, as we've always said, once we have a screening tool for any disease, we have got to use it. And that is why it is important. We've got some cancers that we do not have any way of really screening for it. And that means that the diagnosis often is done later. We have our screening mammography. And we are begging, encouraging, pleading that women get their screening mammography from the age of 40 every year, so that if there's any microcalcification, the radiologist spoke about that, any minute changes at a cellular level that can be seen on the mammogram, it means that we can diagnose it earlier, and then the person can go on to have a longer life, because we know early detection, your survival rate is much improved. So we got to emphasize getting your screening mammography. Please do not be afraid of doing that.
Dr. Leon?
So for all the listener, my message is please go and do checkup. Cancer detecting early have a better outcome. It's really treatable. We have a lot of tools to treating the cancer. Even if the patient decide to come late, it's important to have assessment for the doctors that actually know about cancer management. For example, see a surgeon, see an oncologist is vital, because we know a lot of patients out there that never come to see an oncology and they have diagnosis for cancer. So my advice is go check up, detecting early, and please go to the doctor to know better what's going to be the best treatment to follow in every case.
Yeah, I know we make a big fuss when it comes to October, but we need, as you, both of you rightfully say, we need to go and check up. We can check our breasts any month of the year, any day of the year.
And our radiologist doesn't discriminate. You can do your walk-in. So please stop saying you can't find the time, you can't get an appointment. Get your screening mammography done. Any word, Quinta, you want to pitch in? Because you're silent there. You're part of the team. Why we have to emphasize this? Because oftentimes we think that it's a female disease. Yep. We know that male, although they have a low chance, 1 in 1,000, they can develop breast cancer. We have to know that they're part of the team. We are their wives, we are their friends, their girlfriends, their daughters, so they need to be a part of it too. So, Quint?
Well, I must commend you, Doc, because I tend to listen and watch body language. And last week when you were interacting with your patients, I could see you had a link because we tend to feel sometimes that when you're doing something consistently, it becomes automatic. But it's good to see you still have that personal link. And to the doctor on the other side who said that she was feeling kind of nervous, you are a star.
Thank
we,
you.
we didn't see it and we didn't hear it. So it shows that your job and the importance of your job supersedes everything else. So keep it up.
Yeah, indeed. And as Quint mentioned, yeah, Doc, the empathy that you have.
And we do have a call. Let me see
Okay.
if we can.
All right, caller, go ahead. You're on Weekly Dose. Do you have a question for the doctors?
Yes, good morning to everybody. Greetings once more in Jesus' name. Now, I'm calling to just out of curiosity, pure curiosity. Has there been any known incident or record of any Kittian male having breast cancer? Yeah? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, we do have patients with breast cancer. Actually, I treating 2 patients in this 9 year that I have been working in the federation. Yes, 2 cases. Both of them was elder patients, and they have a strong history of breast cancer in the family. When we testing genetically, we saw that they have a mutation in the immunohistochemistry, so they mean that the cancer running in the family line, and sadly both patients pass away. We have to mention that in males this cancer is kind of aggressive, so if you feel any lump in the breast, please go and check with the doctor right away.
Okay, excellent.
So you said something that is very interesting. So let me ask another question then. If you have females in your family with a history of breast cancer, does that put you, the male, at increased risk of getting it?
Well, we have to run in what we call genetical testing. If the patient have mutation like BRCA1, BRCA2, or HER2 positive, more likely the males in the family could have cancer like prostate cancer and breast cancer. So yes, if the patient have genetical testing done and they show that they testing positive, I encourage the males in the family to go and do checkup as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
So that
Appreciate
speaks
it.
towards just having a strong family history. Remember, we talk about family history as a risk factor. If your mother had breast cancer, your sister has breast cancer, and you and another sister, and you're the male in the family, then you may have an increased risk. Hence, doctor spoke about genetic testing, and we do genetic testing here on the island. So most of our care can be offered efficiently and excellently here on the island.
There you go. Yeah, I'm happy for the folks. Happy for the folks here in St. Kitts. We have it going
because
on.
sometimes it saddens me the work that we do there, and it's always unseen at times. And persons are often still saying that they're surprised with how much we do. How much patients we see on a weekly basis, how many persons go through our operating rooms on a weekly basis and are coming out with excellent results. So we are working hard as a team, although we're in a developing country and we have limitations. We still do our best to ensure that our patient has the best outcome.
Yeah. Oh boy, listen, I always enjoy having you in studio, and Dr. Leon too. The wealth of information that we got today, what I remember from last week, I had a grandmother that had breast cancer. So I don't know, only when October comes, I get fearful.
Remember, October is to make you more aware, right?
Yeah,
Dr. Leon,
exactly.
we give a little bit more emphasis. And why breast cancer awareness is important, because it fundraises, it takes away some of the stigma, it educates and informs persons. That's why we emphasize. And because of all the funds that were able to be raised and put into research, that is why doctors spoke about all the new treatments, the targeted therapy, the immunotherapy, and that is where monies are needed and support of this disease so that we can eventually almost eradicate this thing. I wish we can get to a point where we eradicate the breast cancer.
Indeed, because it needs to leave. It needs to leave.
Leave us alone.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Dr. Osborne. Thank you, Dr. Leon, for sharing your expertise. And thank you to our listeners and our callers. Remember, awareness and action can make all the difference. And remember, early detection saves lives. So thank you, ladies.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Hartsville's Value Mart IGA specials, running October 16th through the 29th. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Blue Ribbon Ice Cream, just $32.99. Morning Star Meatless Entrees, $20.99. Planet Oat Milk, $11.99. Chobani Greek Yogurt, just $5.69. Banquet Chicken Tenders and Nuggets, $24.99. Essential Everyday Dry Roasted Peanuts, $12.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Essential Everyday Pastas are just $4.99. Imperial Margarine, $8.99. All Orchard Apple Juice Cocktails and 100% Apple Juices, $9.99. VO5 Shampoo and Conditioner, $5.99. Gain Dish Detergent, $8.49. Arm & Hammer Deodorant, just $8.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
And we're back on LNT just about 4 minutes after the hour of 9. As we continue along, I just saw a headline from the BBC that says 3 dead in Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa approaches. That's sad to hear. I send my condolences, empathies, sympathies to the family members of those members lost and to the entire nation of Jamaica as they go through this hurricane.
Yeah, and I do the same. Here's hoping that we don't have much of an addition to those 3 who, you know, and these are times that reminds us again of the importance of us being prepared, and no matter how prepared we are, when nature comes in its full force, wish for the best and pray.
Yeah, and I see some persons that intended to stay in their villages, and they said, the headline says, why Jamaica's most vulnerable village stays. Listen, I don't understand, but as I said, I continue to pray for safety, because sometimes we get warning and we don't take it
Well, it isn't. It isn't just that. Sometimes it's that, the system itself fails because the system says, we have these shelters, we have places where you can go, but when something is pending, they're not prepared. That happens a lot of time. Number two, some individuals, because they're poor and all of their life possession is in a, it's hard for them to leave it. Yeah, we can say, oh, well, you gotta, but it bears on their mind. They've struggled so hard to get the few things they have, and then to think it, but whenever you can and there's a more appropriate shelter, try to get there.
Yes, indeed. And as you says, I was looking at hurricanes that they would have gotten because I heard there's a span between when and how they get hurricanes. It's like 20-something years apart. And this would be, and seemingly all the hurricanes that they would have gotten are major ones. We have a caller?
Yeah.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island Sea.
Yes, hello, it's me again, and greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, through faith only, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, like I just said, we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth, and the quicker the better. I saw a clip just this morning. I do not know if Matt Brantley had a town hall meeting recently again.
Yes, he did. Last
evening, yeah. I have the clip right in front of me.
That's the impression I got. And in the clip, he asked the people who at the town hall meeting, well, I don't remember the exact word, but I think the gist of the question he asked them is basically, do you want this?
Yeah,
and
that's correct.
He used those exact words, but I think that's the message of the question, yeah. And the people cried out no.
Everybody said no. Yeah. They said it was, the response came like a rolling thunder across the island. No.
And you know what came to mind? This is what came to mind when they said no. I said to myself, this has very much to do with Quint educating the people and the issue.
Well, not just me, but I try my best. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a credit and take a little pat on my back, just a little.
Yes, I think yes. I think you deserve it because that's what come to mind. Not that it was you only, because I mean, obviously you spoke of the lady from NRP,
yes,
and so on. But I said to myself, Quint, to the best of my knowledge, Quint has been the most vocal, and I'm sure, in large measure, that answer now have to do with Quint. Educating the people and the issue.
Speaking of last evening, I got in kind of late listening to it, but one individual asked a particular question of Mark Brantley, and Mark Brantley was his usual self. The question was, can you tell us, give us an idea of how this thing started, when it started, give us a bit of a time frame and how it and carry us through how it unfolded. And Mark Brantley's answer was, well, I can't give you the answer because I don't have the information with me, but are you saying that because I don't have the information with me, that the fact that people are sending out, that the proposed investors are sending out and saying you should apply for jobs and blah, 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 are you saying that this shouldn't happen? And I was thinking to myself, Mr. Mark Brantley, you are the premier. You come to this after the fact, and you mean you have the audacity to stand in front of everyone and say you didn't bring information? I mean, I thought this town hall meeting was supposed to, even though it is in hindsight and after the fact, I thought that you would have come well prepared. But if you go back over the years of Mark Brantley, you ask him about the hospital, he says, well, unfortunately, I don't have the information here. You ask him about these places where they have, germs infestation and so forth, and how well, I don't really have the information with me presently. The next time I come, I get it. You ask him about geothermal, he says, well, presently I don't. You ask him about the airport, come on, Mr. Mark Brantley.
Well, Quint, with all due respect, he may not have the detailed information, but he should have some general information in his head.
Yeah, but he never gives.
If he's familiar with the whole thing, for example, these people, he pushing the project under SATA. Well, I would think before you push the project or whatever for Destiny, you would have a lot of information in your head that you don't need papers to recall.
That's it, because your job is supposed to be as a representative of the people, not so much a representative for the investors. You're supposed to be able to tell the people what will benefit them. But no. And last evening again, a guy made some statements about the land in that proximity and that it was used before for farming and so on and so forth. And he also made a statement about how he was approached and the price that they wanted him to give up his land for. And he asked them, are you crazy? And he further stated emphatically that even if he was interested, he said, what if I give you X amount and I keep? And they demanded, which I've said over and over, no, we want all. And Mark Brantley's reply was to try to make the guy look bad because he said that there was something happening in the area. And Mark Brantley said, well, my father used to farm there. He's long gone. All the people you speak about are long gone. And then he even went so far as to tell the guy, because the guy said, well, I pay taxes for my land in that area. And he said, Mark Brantley says to him, so you pay a little 2,000, making it kind of trivial, and a few thousand. And Mark Brantley never touched the salient point where the guy says, one, that they wanted to sell at this minimum price, to buy at this minimum price, or two, that, what was it again? Two, that they wanted all the land. He never touched those things, and those are the things that he should have touched. Another lady spoke about the fact that asking, so if you're going to get, if they come and you don't want to sell your land, how can this investor be able to say they'll be able to swap land? Where is land that they're going to swap? And Mark Brantley's reply was, here's Mark Brantley's reply as the premier of Nevis. Well, I guess they know where they can go and they can get land to swap. You mean to tell me you as Mark Brantley, the premier of the country, wouldn't know where they would be able to get lands? All of this.
He's supposed to already know all those things.
That's it. All of these are things that tell us this is not a real deal. This is some kind of setup.
It's a bubble.
Yes, to make sure people get land, and after they've gotten the land, you can do nothing about it. Nevisians, hold to your land, as the Calypso said. Arrow said, hold on to your land and will it to your family. You understand?
I understand. Yes. But you see, I listened to the video that they did. Okay.
Yeah.
After you mentioned it, I listened to it. I watch it on YouTube.
Yes.
And one thing that stood out to me, and somebody in the comment basically said the same thing. But one thing that stood out to me is that this area, SSZ area. What came out to me is this. As a local, yes, you may get jobs there, but it's not for you to live there.
No.
It's not for you to live there. And a commenter said, you see who's going to live there from who ain't going to live there?
Yeah.
A commenter under the YouTube thing.
Yeah.
And that falls right in with the persons who they approach, where they said to them, no, they don't want some, they want all. Because the intention is not for locals to believe in it. Yes, you might get a job. Jobs might be there to do, and you might get certain jobs, whether it be a servant or whatever. But it's not there for you to live in or reside in.
Yeah.
Greg, you had to make the job look so bad, you could get a job as a maid. You gone right back along your time, servant.
whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
Whatever, but it's not a place for you, the local, to live in.
yeah, yeah. Look, I told them from the beginning, before I saw all of this marketing strategy with the video and all that kind of stuff, just the smack of it, just the feel of it, just the amount of land to be given to individuals other than your indigenous people, that put up a number of red flags. And I told them, I said, especially to the federal section, I said, leave this alone. Let Mark see if he can run with it on his own. But no, they want to get up and see if they can sell it. Well, I'm glad that the people said a resounding no.
Yeah, Quint, another issue quickly as well. Let's just say two quick issues. Another one is that me and a Muslim guy was speaking in the square, and he said to me, the reason why a lot of people go, one of the reasons, let me put it there, one of the reasons why a lot of people go, including leaders and that sort of stuff, go to Dubai, is because in the Muslim countries, you have, when it comes to banking, you have strong secrecy that not even America could get information from the banks in Muslim countries. And he said to me, that's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of leaders go to Dubai and so to open bank accounts, because they know those countries have strong secrecy.
But that is true. But here's this. Before, people used, most of the leaders, especially when they were doing scam deals and embezzlements and so, they used to invest in Swiss banks until they realized that the Swiss had a way, whenever a question came up to your name, they would just freeze your monies. So a lot of people, especially a lot of Caribbean and African leaders who were corrupt, and they banked their monies in these Swiss banks, they lost them. So their countries just lost millions and billions of dollars. So don't you think that this new secretive thing, it's so secret that when they abscond your money, who you gonna turn to? Who you gonna turn to and say, these people, these leaders, they just don't seem to wake up and get it. Yes, it is secretive, but it is so secretive that it could be secretively gone.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So when you see leaders going to Dubai and that sort of stuff, you know, it might be more reasons than what you think and that what they said.
Yeah.
And quickly, let me say this very quickly to the people. It's very sad with Jamaica. Let's keep Jamaica in our prayers.
Yeah.
And let us be humbled by the hand of God, because everything is under control in the hands of God. And these are messages from God that if we're going to have true protection, only God can give us true protections from the hurricanes, earthquakes, and you name it all, whatever comes in life. The only true protection and safety is in Jesus Christ, according to the Bible. Okay, Quinn, thank you very much.
Okay, and thank you for your input. We're going to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean. Keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
And we are back on Island T, and I have a clip for you.
Not to talk about the legislation, but to talk about the project that has been proposed. I am not understanding why that is such a difficult concept for us to grasp. The project that is proposed is what we are talking about. Do we want this project that is proposed on the South Coast? That is what we are talking about, right? So that's where we are. So it sounds to my ear that the eyes have it. That's what it sounds like. The eyes have it. So this is the discussion that we're having on this occasion. So I just want to make that clear. Now, in relation to what's the other question?
Quiet, please. Quiet. Quiet, please.
Yeah. The language you used was a vast number of persons are speaking out against the project. And again, I would only admonish you to speak for you, because I don't know who the vast number of persons are.
I want you to play that from the beginning again. You know why? Because after hearing all the no's, he goes on to say, from my hearing, the eyes have it.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning what he heard was different to what we heard.
To talk about the legislation. We're having a town hall now, again, not to talk about the legislation, but to talk about the project that has been proposed. I am not understanding why that is such a difficult concept for us to grasp. The project that is proposed is what we are talking about. Do we want this project that is proposed on the South Coast? That is what we are talking about, right? So that's where we are. So it sounds to my ear that the eyes have it.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like. The eyes have it. So
but that's his faction after. You see? They always always carry their faction. When we heard it first, we heard no, more prominent. But then when he says, it sounds to me like the I have it, and you hear his faction now saying, yay. You understand? And this is what politicians do. But just the frustration in his voice when he starts and he says, I don't understand it. I can't understand why you can't grasp. That tells you he knows it is in the negative. This is why I listen and I observe. You understand? Because when you listen and you observe, you get the answers. Hello, caller.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
How are you guys today?
Good. Yourself?
I'm okay. And you?
Good. I'm good. Thanks be to God. No, I'm glad to hear that the people of Nevis shouted a resounding no to this project. Kudos to them. Now, Quint, I was just looking at something. I was just, we all are fascinated with AI, and AI is taking over the world. You know, they did a study in Cedar Hospital where they showed that even AI can be biased, can be racial, is racial. They did a study where they took a white patient and black patient, same diagnosis, both have the same problem. When the AI was to distribute medication, the medication what the black person supposed to get, AI didn't give them the same medication it gives to the white patient. So can you imagine? Even AI is racist.
No, it's not so much. You see, people don't understand. AI is input and output for dissemination. So if the input was prejudice in the very beginning, AI can only dispense what was put in. If the
No, that's what I said too.
Yes, if the information put in is that Cartensia as a female gets XYZ and I as a man get ABC, then that is what AI is going to dispense because that is the information that was put in.
because this is actually a doctor that brought out this study showing that AI is biased.
And you know why they're doing that? They're doing that because AI has been, a lot of people have been asking AI questions about black and white and superiority and genetics and so forth, and they don't like the answer that has been coming out. So now they're pushing this spin to say AI has a bias. Again, it comes
but
down.
this is a black doctor that actually brought it out.
But that's what I'm saying. Again, look at the Tuskegee. Look at the Tuskegee experiments. It is black doctors for the most who were treating these black patients and giving them wrong diagnosis, knowing that there wasn't going to be a cure. Look, let's be realistic. You're a black doctor in an oppressive system. The only way you can get a job is to do what the system wants you to do. Okay? So the system says, go in there and you're going to look after these patients, and this is what you're going to do. In the end, it's a lot of those doctors who spilled the bean, because they said it broke their heart to see over all of these years you're injecting these men with syphilis and gonorrhea and telling them that you're going to get a cure, and knowing that all you're looking is to see how their bodies will deteriorate over time. It is those same black doctors who said it broke their heart, and they spilled the beans.
But this AI thing is something else, because even in Florida, that we have a system where I guess it can detect wherever there's weapons or gun. It had some young black men school kids was sitting down, or they were together, just standing up eating chips, but the thing said it detect gun. I guess the system think that the chip bag is a gun. When you look, police come down on them, put them on the ground, handcuff the young man, and all he was doing was eating a potato chip.
Caller, again, AI is input-output. If let's say let me draw a reference. Let's say in Bastille, the information is discriminatory against guns and whatnot, and you put it in, and you tell AI, look, almost anything when you go in the proximity of Bastille, it's going to come out as you're carrying some kind of contraband or gun. That is what AI is going to reach out. But let's say in Sandy Point now, the information is different. You're going, look, here's the thing. You need not be worried about AI if you are informed about certain facts, right?
But Chris, do we see how dangerous that is? Because when I saw that, right, my first thought was, look at this young black man. What if that cop, we know how trigger happy some of these police can be. What if that was a happy trigger cop? Just come up and start shoot. That's why young man would have been.
But caller, that is what I'm saying. I am saying that we have to be aware of AI. AI can be just as bad as it can be good. It all depends on who's using it. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not going to run around and say AI is all bad or AI is all good. For instance, when I look for information to do with history, I make sure that it is history that I can corroborate. I go to 4 or 5 different things, I listen and I hear, and plus when it comes to history, history is history. History is documented over time.
Don't care you try to change it, it still remains the same.
That's it, okay?
You don't hide it but for so long.
Yes.
Anyway, I'll continue listening, guys.
Yeah.
All right,
okay.
say hi to hubby for us.
Yeah. So yeah, look, be aware of, for instance, my oldest son told me, I spoke to him about AI because he, even though I'm an engineer, he's more au fait in certain things than I am. When I was young, I thought about going into computer technology, right? But I didn't, because at that time, in my mind, computer was kind of way behind, okay? It was a lot of LEDs and input-output, NAND gates, and people wouldn't understand that. Anyway, so I went into electrical engineering. Now, when I got my children, I wanted my son, especially my first child, my oldest son, to go in the vein of computer technology, science, and that kind of stuff. So I would ask him when he go to school, I would ask him when he comes back home, I said, are you doing computer science? Because it wasn't named AI at the time, right? And he would say, no, Daddy, and as the years go by. And I remember one year he came back home excited and he said, yeah, Daddy, it's there, but they don't call it computer science. They call it information technology and so forth. I say that to say this. Now, he's a grown man. And some time ago, recently, I was speaking to him and I spoke to him about this AI. And he said to me, he said, look, I'm going to tell you something, Dad. I'm not going to put AI on certain phones and so forth for me, because AI has a way. As long as you put a certain level of AI on your phone, AI goes into everything. AI goes on its own and behind the scene go into all of your information. If you are not au fait, you put certain things with AI on your phone, and next thing, AI has all of your information that you think is private. That is how sophisticated. It depends on the level, though, of the AI, okay? There's some basic AIs that won't do that. But if you're going to real advanced AI and you put that on your phone, you're compromised. So be aware of what you're doing, people. Hello, caller?
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island C.
Hello, caller? Hello, caller?
Oh, hello. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I like how you put it, eh?
Yeah.
As persons who are, as long as we are informed in terms of knowing the history and all of that, we need not worry about AI.
Yes.
I keep saying, Hosea 4:6 tells us that, that verse says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Because they reject knowledge. And I leave some words out and I go on and I say, therefore I have rejected them.
Yes.
The thing about it is not that there isn't knowledge, but we choose not to accept knowledge.
Yeah.
And part of this is the religious indoctrination that a lot of us are still under. That's why I remove myself from under it. That is the worst thing that could ever happen to us as a people.
Yes, it is.
No, I don't want to believe that there are people out there who really have this trust and confidence and credibility in something that is called AI. AI is not flesh and blood. It doesn't have a mind of its own. It will perform according, as you say, what is inputted into it.
Yes.
Is what will come out.
Yeah.
But you
So
don't
if you
ever-
have these people in the system who is doing all of these things to us in the flesh and blood, what do you think it's going to do to the machine? So what they're going to do when the robots start attacking us, they're going to say, well, these robots have gone wild, because people think that this thing is real. And I don't know why our people going to consult this thing, going right back to the source. That is so much against our existence on this earth. And you're going back to that source to ask them questions about what? So when they're going to tell you, they're going to feed some negative piece of information, they are going to accept it and say, well, because you hear people talk about this Google and this and that. And this is where our people are putting our confidence in.
Yeah. And caller.
We are destroyed.
And
we
caller.
are destroyed. Yes.
And caller, even in Google, and there's another thing, but even in Google, if you're going too deep into it and it gives you certain information, there are parts in it that says, if you know more information, update the information that we have given, which means that Google is gradually over time updating information. Okay? So what does that tell you?
But by conflicting, contradictory, and ill information. Because there are persons outside there who still don't want the facts or the truth to be revealed. So nobody think that the information that comes out is all that credible. We can't just take it just like that and think that it is all credible. That is not the Almighty speaking. Or the Almighty putting forth the information to his people. there are those who are going to corrupt it the same way. And I find that a lot of us, we are still too gullible.
I mean,
We just accept.
look at how the corruption begins. Let's look. I keep telling people, as the old people used to say, there's nothing new under the sun. Look at how the corruption begins. The United States is in our proximity, pushing that drug is the main thing. We in this proximity know, for the most part, it is a lie. But yet still, they're pushing it. And there are certain individuals who are uninformed who will pick it up and run with it. Yeah.
And yeah, I listen. And to be honest, right, I am so disappointed in this area because I listen sometimes to this information that is put out coming to our local media. And the thing about it is the way that they they transfer this information. They transfer the information like they themselves know it to be true.
Yeah.
They themselves are involved in whatever, so this is true. They're not saying alleged, you know.
Yeah.
They're speaking like it is true.
I mean,
and this is what I do not...
I mean, listen to Marco Rubio. Oh, Maduro has been convicted in the United States. He has been indicted. I mean, we know how indictments go. You can indict whoever you want, whenever you want. You understand? So if he's going to make that statement and say, by his example, that Maduro is this deadly criminal, and what about his president, his leader, who has been not just indicted, but in courts of law, we heard rulings. So what is he saying about that? But these people pick and choose, ignore, and so forth. Yeah.
Three more things I'm going to say quickly before I go. One of it, you see all of these appliances that we have in our homes and so on. I say we in general.
Yeah.
A lot of people better wake up because that same AI is ineffective because those smart things they have, the smart cooker, the smart refrigerator, the smart this, you can just speak and then, you know, you get whatever appliance.
Or clap your hand. Yeah.
Do. They're spying on people. They are spying. So people need to understand what they're saying, even in their own homes, if you're going to take in these equipment and so on. Second, this well, let me say, quote unquote crisis that Jamaica is going right through now. I saw something on media the other day, and it had this lady that came out, and she was warning the Jamaican public, right? But anyway, it was this lady. Well, actually, it came on somebody's post, and she was posting it what somebody was saying about what she remembered this other lady was saying about 4 years ago. And warning Jamaica, and the lady was crying and said that, you know, this is what the Lord showed her, what will happen to Jamaica. The lady said Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba. And she went on to call some other countries like Brazil and so on, certain things they're going to go through. And, you know, there are people who are making it mockery. And I'm saying to myself, my gosh, this thing happened 4 years ago. And persons looking at this, and I'm saying, my goodness, if it was a pale face who had said that, everybody would have gone down in sackcloth and ashes, weeping and wailing, because, quote unquote, the mouth of the Lord has spoken. And finally, the tape that was there with Nevis, with Matt Brantley. Oh my goodness. What is wrong with these people? Now this is telling me, you know, it seems like these persons have already gotten paid off. And I hope I'm wrong, because I don't understand why they are so adamant in pushing this thing. If the people say they don't want it, why are you not considering what the persons are saying?
That is the main concern.
Have they been paid?
That is
Have
the
they
main.
been bought out and they can't get out? Because they themselves are now in something that they realize that they're in real serious hot water. So they want to make the people complicit and they want to incriminate them inside this sort of deal. And then when everything is said and done, they say, well, it's the people who want it. Look at how the people are fighting back. And some of those people there who taking this thing as politics. People, you all better stop your nonsense, you know, and look at issues for what they are, you know. Wrong is wrong and right is right. Because when you move off of the scene, it's your children who are going to be here to feel that brunt. And what really got me right now here is that even under former previous administrations, when this thing about the sale of the passport came out and so on, there were certain individuals who were talking, right? They were belly aching and talking and, you know, the black consciousness, and if some of these people come here, what will happen to the black population here in St. Kitts? And now they have this supposed purported project coming. And it is clear, as it is said, that is what is banning around. I want to use the word allegedly, but I don't know, but it's banning around. Over 10,000 of those who not coming, not looking like us. And you want to tell me these same people, because their party or what the favor is in, they have nothing to say. That is why you see I do not trust what people say for the most part. You know, what moves me is action. They're not saying anything. And then when all is said and done, they want to come out now and think people forget. And then they're the ones who are going to come and say, you see, I don't talk out about this. And I said this long time, and I think I was ever when they know they didn't. The people don't want it, Mr. Brentley. Listen to the people. Nevis is too small for that. You're inviting a lot of problems. Maybe you feel like when push comes to shove, it will not affect you, your children, and your wife, because you think you could go anywhere you all want. There are people in this federation who can't go away, even if they want to. So they're going to have to stay here and take all the backs and the kick in the face.
Okay, Carla.
And you all feel like you all are going to be safe where you all are. But he's going to come to you all still, you know.
Yeah.
Have a blessed day.
Okay. Thank you for your input. Yeah. I mean, what I like is when after Mark Brantley had said, well, from my understanding, from my hearing, the eyes have it, and then you hear some other voices saying, when he makes a statement and so you hear some other voices saying, all the people who just told you no. You hear them in all the people who just told you no.
Somebody in that no also spelled it out. N-O. Yeah. So as...
Hello, caller.
Quint?
Yes.
Hi.
It's me. Yes. No, current area here in Middle Island, as soon as you play the clip the second time.
Yeah.
So I do not know if you have a guest in there with you. I don't know what's going on.
No, we don't have a guest with us right about now.
Okay.
And this current going off and on is really messing up things, you know, because...
Bad.
Yeah. In this era, these are the things that are supposed to be sustainable. These are the things that were campaigned on: electricity, water, and what else? And food sufficiency. Those are things that we need yesterday. We need them in a modern world. Yeah.
Yes, on a consistent basis.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Quint, like I said, I haven't been hearing you all since. So. But let me say this. With that clip that you played, okay, which is what I alluded to, but I did not hear the whole thing though, because it was on somebody's WhatsApp status, so all that got cut off.
Okay.
Yes, so what I'm saying is that it's quite obvious, more than obvious, that the no was far more than the yeah. And I'm not even too sure it was a year, because it sounded to me possibly they could have said nay. Okay? But let's just say they were saying yeah. It may or may not be so. Could have been there. But let's say they were saying yeah. It's still obvious that the no was far more than the yeah.
Yeah.
But who was saying yeah?
After he said, by my understanding, the eyes have it, you heard some yeas or some...
And like I said...
That means it's like that. They mean no. So we mean no, yes. We mean in no. I think that's what they meant.
It sounds to me that it may have been Nedesena instead of yes. It sounds to me that it may be Nedesena. But
hold on.
I heard some yeas.
Do we want this project that is proposed on the South Coast? That is what we're talking about, right? So that's where we are. project that is proposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. So no meaning yeah. Well, if we mean no, yeah, we mean no. I think that's what I don't think they mean. No, I don't.
Well, unlike you, Hortensia, I'm not going to say yeah mean no, right? Yeah mean yeah, no mean no. But as Greg says, the no was a resounding vibration,
Resounding.
much higher than the
Far higher.
yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, Quinn, with that being the case, and he still wants to fight the people by saying the year is greater.
Yeah.
The year have it because the year was greater.
It shows you his mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shows you that you can't trust this man, period. It shows you that he's going to bring about this thing either by the hook or the crook.
Yeah.
And that was my thing, because whether we say yes or no, if they intend to do it, they're gonna do it.
But that is why they did it in the first instance without giving the people information. We only began to get information because certain individuals in high places, in particular, Sam Conda, the KC, and NRP and Astafan and so forth, they got a backlash. So now they're trying to see if they can sell it. But even in trying to sell it, as Greg says, you can see that they're not really concerned whether they sell it or not. They still want to push it.
But
by the hook or the crook.
But should we be concerned that maybe stuff has already been signed?
But that is what people that is what people are saying. People are saying the fact that you are so adamant in pushing along, they question, they're very suspicious as to what has you already put your foot in the mire already. This is what people are saying. Hold a bit, Greg. We have another caller. Hello, caller.
Yes.
Yeah, to you guys, man. Good morning to the listeners.
Go ahead, Burrow.
Yeah, great discussions. I want to thank the Nevis and Sinkis people that turned out to that town hall meeting last night. And I want to commend them and, being present. And
Did you listen?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So I want to ask you, did you get any information from Mark Brantley that was convincing as to the fact that this thing should come to Nevis? Did he say anything that...
No. Quint, I'm going to tell you straightforward right now. My dialogue this morning, I want to control my own dialogue.
Yes.
I want to say straight to the Prime Minister. He has to check out this videotape or whatever kind of tape it is. The Prime Minister, I'm calling out the Prime Minister today. He has to act as he is the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. I am calling him out significantly this morning. The voices of the Nevis people last night should not and cannot be muzzled. Whatever divisions was there, we heard that yell, no. Everybody is not courageous to come out last night and to even scream last night. Those persons that screamed is representative of the Nevis people. It doesn't matter if it was 5 people that were screaming or 10 people that were screaming, because we put 11 parliamentarians in parliament plus 1 or 2 senators, and they are in parliament doing anything they want to do against the voices of the people. That cannot be. That democracy is being eroded. Democracy in St. Kitts and Nevis is under attack. The Premier has to be called out now, big time. Whatever information they try to peddle, they also have their propaganda machine. And they're going to be peddling more information again this morning in a press conference on Nevis. Technically speaking, The Nevis people has spoken last night, and the Prime Minister has to pay attention to that. He is not just the Prime Minister of St. Kitts. He is the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. I personally like to support this in the streets because I came to a country called America, and in this culture where I'm living, I see what protests done in this country, and I see what protests have done around the world. We had 7 million people showed up to a No Kings rally just 1.5 weeks ago, an increase from the last time that they had the first No Kings rally. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis have to build on that momentum last night now to mobilize if they want to stop this Destiny project. The meeting last night, the Premier, he has spoken how he wants to speak down to people. You know what I mean? They try to restrict the way how you talk, the amount of questions you come with, different scenarios. But at the end of it all, whatever amount of people showed up last night, I want to say I'm satisfied, and I want to thank the Nevis and St. Kitts people for showing up and voicing their opinions last night. And I'll leave it there, man. Thanks a lot.
Okay, we're going to wrap up a bit early because we have the Premier of Nevis, Mr. Mark Brantley's monthly press conference coming up at 10, so we're going to break away a bit early. So, Greg, make your final statement.
Yes, what I'm going to say is this. The people are going to have to organize and send a strong message because obviously Mark Brantley, but he's doing what he's doing steady having said that in there when he was clearly the opposite. So that his mind is to bring about this thing by force, by the hook, or by the crook. And lastly, let me say this. This thing that I heard being spoken of about if the government renege, they're going to have to pay, something billions, 23 billion. But if the other side renege, they're going to have to pay 17 or some million. If nobody asks, if nobody from the media asks them about that issue, to clear up that issue, the media ain't what they thought. The media, something wrong with the media. If nobody bring up that question to either Mark and the Prime Minister as well.
Okay.
That's a very important. We need to know what's the truth about that issue.
Well, I will agree with you. We need to know, but when I hear it, it sounds so fantastic. I can't believe that. Look, to me, that sounds like part of the rumors, but I could be wrong.
I want to hear them honest. I want to hear them say that it is a lie. I want to hear them say.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Quinn, thank you.
Okay, take care. So, Hortensia, your closing statements.
That we'll get the answer that Greg just mentioned, and that the media will ask the correct questions today, and for all to have a great Tuesday.
Yeah, you take care.
You too.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Value Mart IGA specials running October 16th through the 29th. Now our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Blue Ribbon ice cream, just $32.99. Morning Star